Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Nostalgia Unboxings. Today we are opening up the Magic the Gathering Commander Symbiotic Swarm, the Symbiotic Swarm Commander deck here. It is in the Abzan colors, which are white, black, and green. This came out at about actually on the exact same day as the previous Magic the Gathering unboxings I did of the Ikoria Collector's Edition, so this ties into that new set. And so most of the decks in this lineup, I think there's like 5, follow up with all the new mechanics that were introduced, which we will probably get into, hopefully. So on the box, we just have our big oversized commander card here, Cathriel, Aspect Warper, which we'll talk about later when I actually open it up. On the box here, we have Join the Fray. Choose your commander and carve your path to victory in this unique multiplayer Magic format. Team up with Cathriel to conjure deceptively powerful creatures from the shadows and combine their abilities into a relentless hive mind. And we have some little sample cards from the deck here. And Symbiotic Swarm. Cathriel is a cunning, insectile nightmare with powerful shape-shifting abilities. It excels at strategically mimicking other creatures and delights in luring would-be predators to their deaths. So inside, apparently we can expect a deck box, a 100-card deck with 17 new cards. So that's actually a 99-card main deck for this format, and then a 1-card commander, which sits nice and on this side. And you're basically able to cast your commander anytime you have enough mana. So that's the whole gimmick to this format for those unfamiliar with Magic or its formats. We get 10 double-sided token cards. And we get the foil oversized commander card, which leads me to believe we also get a regular-sized Cathriel, which I hope is the case, because the oversized card is not legal to use in any other format except for commander. We have a life wheel, strategy insert, a reference card, and 24 counters, which I will touch upon later because these counters are, I'm assuming, part of the new mechanic that they introduced, which is so the old keywords from the Magic cards. And if you don't play Magic, don't worry. I mean, I'm not gonna have to explain everything here. You can get the gist of it. Just so basically, each keyword, such as flying here, originally they were all just as printed on the card, and basically that's how it worked. But Cathriel introduces a mechanic, or, well, not Cathriel, the Ikoria set introduced the keywords being on counters that you can actually end up moving around with abilities and stuff. So that's what this whole deck is about. It's you basically try to make all your creatures have a bunch of keywords that are just sort of passive buffs that have game effects. I might talk about some as they come up here. So we're popping it open from the bottom because popping it open on the top does not seem like a good idea due to how thin it is. And this is what we have inside. So we have the nice big plastic shell with Cathriel in it. Everything contained in the nice deck box. Oh, it's actually alright, I did not expect the deck box open like that. Let's take a look at Cathriel first here. Oh, it's actually, I thought there was another plastic thing, sandwiching it together there, but it is just kind of held in place by tabs, it seems. So here's our giant foil Cathriel. It is very nice and big. If anyone actually, this is actually a relevant question, but if anyone knows, do they actually make sleeves, special sleeves for these oversized cards to help, preserve them and make sure you don't get all sorts of nicks and extra unnecessary wear all over them? That would be very cool and much appreciated, as I'd plan on playing with this deck actually, so it'd be nice to keep everything nice and minty fresh, if you know what I'm saying. So we got our little instruction booklet. Oh, it's like an instruction fold-out, actually. There we go. We have Cathriel, Tayam, Nikara, Lair Scavenger, and Yannick, Scavenging Sentinel. Hope I can fit at least most of this into frame. That's pretty cool. We have... what is this? Oh, so this is the, this is what they meant by the life wheel. that's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of made out of like cardboard and stuff, so it's not the most high quality thing, but that's pretty nice actually. We have, what is this? Just a white card. This would actually be kind of cool for your own little custom cards, because it's basically the same size. It's the same size as a Magic card, so this is actually really neat and useful if you're a creative type. So inside we have the entire deck here. Look at that big brick, and there's nothing really else in here. Oh, actually, this pops out, so that might be important to someone out there. So here we go. So I am happy we do have a normal-sized Cathril Aspect Warper. So let's pop this open, and I will read her effect entirely. It's just so the rest of the deck kind of makes sense as to what your goal is when you're piloting this bad boy. So here we go. Actually, on the back, let's take a look at this. So we do have a info card. We have the ability tokens here. Are these all different? Oh, they're double-sided, I see. So we have Flying, Indestructible, Death Touch, Flying, Vigilance, oh, we have two Indestructibles on this side. Double Strike, Hexproof, Lifelink, it's so confusing. Oh, okay, so all the Indestructibles have... Okay, so never mind, it is consistent, it's just kind of strange. And then we have Trample. Oh, this one has some different ones. So this one has Menace, +1/+1, Reach. We have Death Touch. I don't know, I think we kind of touched on most of these already. That's a little bit confusing, but yeah. So these are the tokens to help you keep track of all the shenanigans that this deck is built to perform. And we move on to this big old brick. So we have Cathril here, and she has a... You know what? I'm going to bring out the big Cathril, because it's going to be easier for us all to read and see. So, Cathril is a 2 colorless, 1 white, 1 black, and 1 green, which again is Abzan. Legendary creature, Nightmare Insect. So that's 5 total converted mana cost. She is a 3/3, and her effect is, when Cathril Aspect Warper enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on any creature you control. If a creature card in your graveyard has flying, repeat this process for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, so every single token that we have had, every one of those keywords, and Vigilance. Then put a +1/+1 counter on Cathril for each counter put on a creature this way. So if you did that quick math, she has a total possible power of coming out with as a 14/14, so she can get there were 11 keywords right there. Unless you double those counters, which I'm sure is going to be an effect present within the deck somewhere. So she can come out for a lot more, and for only 5 mana, she is a big steal. As well as, you know, making all your creatures big and beefy based on the abilities of creatures you have in your graveyard. So that is her shtick. So, of course, we have Cathril. We have Tayam, Luminous Enigma. He is also Abzan and 1 colorless for a legendary creature, Nightmare Beast. And you guys can read this on your own time. We have Nikara, Lair Scavenger. 2 colorless and a black. Legendary creature, Human Cleric. 2/2, also with quite a bit of text. She does have partner with Yannick the Scavenger, which is coming up next. Who is a 2 colorless, 1 white and 1 green and 1 white, legendary creature Hyena Beast. That looks really cool. I like how multiple cards here are foil instead of just making the front card the Cathril foil. So then he is a 3/3, also with a pretty long effect, which I think is going to be a recurring theme here. We have our tokens. Let's see, how many do we have? The autofocus does not seem to like them very much. So they're spirits all on one side, and on the other side they are insects, which is very nice. I like that they give you a whole big old pile of them. So most of this brick is actually going to be land, so that you can actually cast all the cards that you want to cast here. I'm going to go through these fairly quickly, not even going to read most of them off, just for people that are interested. I'm sure you can actually look up the whole deck list online. And we'll get all these basics out of the way here. So we have all of these guys. So the gist of this deck is basically you want to pitch cards like here. This is a perfect one to lead into here. A Chroma Angel of Wrath, which is a very expensive card, so it's going to be very hard, you know, to get out from your hand. But she is a 6/6, but look at all the keywords she has. Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, Haste, and Protection from Black and from Red, which unfortunately is not one of the token ones, but it's very good if you do end up casting her. But so the goal of the deck is you want to send creatures like this from your hand or your deck to the graveyard without needing to pay for them somehow, either with a discard effect or something like that. And then you play Cathril or other cards, you know, and buff them all using all the effects from this creature, all these keywords. You could put them onto your creatures on the board without having to, you know, pay all these costs and stuff. So that's basically your strategy here, is you make a bunch of ability tokens. So all your, you know, actually this is a bad example. This is a 5/5, which is a pretty good creature. Let's look for something here. Look, so you can make your little 2/2 double strike here into a 2/2 double strike, flying, reach, indestructible, death touch, like complete monster by just, you know, playing Cathril on top of her. And so, and this is only, so you could play this guy on turn 3, and then Cathril comes out on what, turn 5, if you don't have any way to, you know, generate mana faster than, you know, once per turn, which is freaking ridiculous, and I think it's going to be really fun. And the reason I actually did get this deck over the other ones offered in the lineup was I just expected this one to be the most powerful one right out the box, and maybe even with upgrades, it still will probably end up being one of the stronger ones of the bunch. And I really like I just like her mechanic. It seems like a really fun deck to bring to a little table here with a couple friends and just, you know, have a good time playing Commander, or EDH if you prefer to call it the old-fashioned, the original term. And we have our Planeswalker here. Each one of the decks, I believe, came with one Planeswalker included, which is Ajani Unyielding, our little cat boy. We actually got one of these in our... I don't think it was this Ajani, but we definitely got an Ajani as my stained glass Planeswalker in one of my Secret Lair videos, if you want to check those out, huh? So he is a 4 colorless, 1 green and 1 white, so he's a pretty expensive walker with many abilities there that you can read. And there's also a lot of really cool reprints in this. I don't know if I've skipped over any actually, but if I see anything notable, I will take a little foray into it. So Archon of Valor's Reach, it's another pretty cool one. And they didn't like fill these up with crap, which is really cool. Like, there's actually genuinely very good, powerful cards in here from multiple rarities. Like, here we go. We have Karametra, God of Harvests. Like, there's so much good stuff in these decks. I think the original price I paid was $40 for this, but stock may be limited due to the, you know, all the happenings currently. Mimic Fat, like, these are all, like, a lot of these are iconic cards. Canopy Vista. Yeah, like, there's a lot of really good cards here, which is, you know, fantastic, especially if maybe you're just getting into Magic, or you just don't want to, you know, you want to have a pretty good functioning playable deck without paying good functioning playable deck costs. This is an awesome option for you. Command Tower, this is a essential commander card. And maybe if you don't, you know, if you end up buying this deck and you don't necessarily like it, you do get a whole bunch of potential staples to go right into making your other decks. Like Command Tower, you know, which is good in every commander deck. That's, you know, the format that it's made for. Commander Sphere, too, like Sol Ring, this is another staple. You get so many really good cards for the price. So we have the Void back in here, and this is why I wanted to pull Space Godzilla Death Corona when I opened the Ikoria Collector's Edition box, because this is the original art, so I was thinking of swapping it out and having the Death Corona in this deck when I play. But maybe I'll consider getting it just from my local card shop. I don't know why I like pointed it off camera, because no one's going to see that, but from my local card shop, maybe at some point. Titan Author-X. Wait, this is the Godzilla one, I think. Yeah, so we did get one that I could swap out. That's sweet. See, I'm happy. But there's a whole bunch of new cards, old cards, and the whole deck has synergy with itself for a pretty affordable cost, all things concerned, especially for Magic. Unburial Rites, too. So, I mean, I would definitely recommend this. My first impressions are great here, too, because I actually didn't take a look at the whole deck list before I bought this, because I don't like spoiling myself too much. I saw something I thought would be cool, and I like, you know, kind of going in as blind as possible and getting, you know, wowed. Like, look at this crazy stuff that's in here. And I think it accomplished it perfectly fine for me here. We have Nyx Weaver. So hopefully this gives you, you know, a good idea of the deck and what it contains, so to speak, and it's, you know, its whole game strategy here with the nice foils. So we did get 4 foils inside, including the Commander. But you, so the whole thing about Commander, I should also explain, is it is singleton. So even though you do have the oversized Commander card that you can use as your Commander, you cannot put this into the actual deck. So this is just so you... So I think the way the rules work with the actual oversized cards is to be able to use the oversized card as your Commander in like an actual more tournament. I mean, no one cares, obviously, if you're casual. If your friend group says it's cool, then it's cool. But I think in tournaments, the way it works is you could actually bring this and use it as your Commander, but you do have to own the real copy of the card to be able to use the oversized cards. And it might seem a little weird since, well, you get both of them, so wouldn't you automatically own both if someone sees you with this? Well, they've actually released oversized versions of other cards in the past, just as fun promotions. I know they did it for, I think it was the Avacyn Restored pre-release tournament that I went to. They gave everyone oversized cards, or at least my LGS, my game store did. So I got like a big, huge, oversized Grizzlebrand, and I think an oversized Sigarda Host of Herons. So those are really, really cool. So that's why they made that ruling. So because who knows where you got the big one from. What matters is you actually have the tournament legal one. So that was a little kind of a side rant. But other than that, guys, that is the Symbiotic Swarm Commander deck from Magic the Gathering. I hope you enjoyed the video and, you know, thought it was kind of interesting, especially if you don't actually play Magic. I hope it was easy to follow and maybe kind of interesting to look at all the art and hear me explaining all this really nerdy stuff. But other than that, guys, I hope you had a good watch. If you did enjoy the video and you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'd also appreciate any comments, questions, or concerns. I don't know why that's like fixated in my head from way back in high school. All the teachers used to say that line. But yeah, like, dislike, you know, show me some love in the comments section, maybe suggestions and whatnot. And other than that, guys, I hope to see you guys next week as well. Bye-bye.